put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. I am your host, Lavian Cupid, and it is indeed my pleasure to be sitting here this morning. We are coming to you live from the Port Mall, downtown Scarborough, Tobago, and today is Friday, the 16th of August, 2024. And whether you are viewing us on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Amplia Channel 102, we want to thank you for choosing us always and making us your number one choice for mornings and for waking you up this morning. All right, so much is happening in and around the island. Tomorrow, the Carib Great Race. Would you be out there? Also, the Castara Fisher Folk Association announcing, unfortunately, that the Fisherman Fete will be cancelled, but they do have a great family day, and breakfast on the beach is free. And you don't have to invite me twice. I would be there, so I hope that you would be there as well. All right, and so we head on over to Biana Brebner for news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Lavian. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Friday, August 16, 2024. Health Minister Terence Dial Singh announced that Trinidad and Tobago's public health system is prepared to handle the monkeypox virus locally if cases arise. This follows the World Health Organization declaring mpox a public health emergency of international concern due to a surge in cases in Africa. Dial Singh noted that Trinidad and Tobago treated 4 mpox cases in 2022 with isolation protocols and vaccines until 2026. Although no screening is done at ports of entry, the ministry will continue to monitor the situation. The World Health Organization emphasized the need for global action to prevent another widespread outbreak like in 2022. Up next, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley expressed concerns about the negative impact of poor diets on the public health in Trinidad and Tobago, particularly due to the prevalence of non-communicable diseases. He urged citizens to adopt healthier eating habits, emphasizing that many have grown up consuming unhealthy processed foods rather than fresh produce. Rowley warned that the rising health care costs due to poor diets could be mitigated by lifestyle changes rather than hiring more doctors and nurses. He praised the Youth Agriculture Shade House project, which promotes efficient farming and supports the government's goal of reducing food imports by 25% by 2025. And finally, the National Advisory Committee on Constitutional Reform has recommended significant changes for top office holders in Trinidad and Tobago, including a 2-term limit for prime ministers, while suggesting reverting to the previous process for appointing police commissioner and deputy commissioners, where Police Service Commission recommend candidates to the prime minister, who has to veto. The committee also advised expanding the Police Service Commission scope to include other protective services. It criticizes the current system, where Parliament's involvement creates political interference and reputational harm for candidates. The report emphasizes the need for clear rules, consultation without compromising independence, and encourages a return to a system that avoids politicalization while maintaining national security. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you so much for that, Biana. We appreciate it. All right, and we're going to our birthday shout out this morning, and we have firstly Afia Motley Braffett. Happy birthday going out to you from all of us here at Tobago Updates Television and all of your loved ones. All right, we hope that you have a wonderful day. We hope that all your dreams come true and that you do all that you need to do today. And also we have country girl Cheryl Douglas. Good morning, Cheryl. Happy birthday to you, girl. I hope you have a wonderful day. God's richest blessings on your life, continued success. All right, so happy birthday going out to those two beautiful ladies. All right, and I know you're probably wondering, well, Lavian, who are we talking to this morning? And remember, on Friday mornings now, you're going to be seeing me as we will be having our Carnival, Tobago October Carnival Carnival segment every morning, a booster to Entertainment Central here on Tobago Updates tonight at 8 p.m. And so this morning we will be speaking with Assistant Secretary in the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Mr. Niall George, and Mr. Jesse Taylor, Cultural Officer 2. And we'll be discussing the Prime Minister's Best Village Trophy competition being held right here on the island. We also move on to speak to Miss Adoni Edgar, the PRO for Naked Glow Night Mass. Yeah, Tobago October Carnival shaping up. And we will be discussing the band launch, all right? And then we move on to Marcus would be here to give you everything that you need in sport. Because, you know, Tobago Updates Television is going to bring you everything that you need. So in the meantime, I want you to stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. And remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television viewers. All right, and we are jumping into conversations this morning as we will be speaking with Mr. Jesse Taylor, Cultural Officer 2, and the Assistant Secretary for the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Mr. Niall George, as we discuss the Prime Minister's Best Village Trophy competition, a competition that has been around since 1963. Good morning,
indeed.
Mr. Taylor. How are you?
Good morning. Well, good morning to you. And good morning to Tobago, all of Trinidad. Good morning, Assistant Secretary, and all the staff of the division. It's really a good morning, and we are very, very, very happy to be here to talk about Best Village in Tobago.
Right. And the first time being held, the finals being held in Tobago, the significance of this event.
Yeah, so that the fact that the district finals have been held here, Tobago usually would be placed in Trinidad and would have journey from Tobago to go to Trinidad to be at the national platform. And sometimes they say the mountain can't go to Mohammed, then the mountain, Mohammed goes to the mountain. So we are very happy this morning to celebrate a larger achievement, which is the fact that Tobago will showcase Tobago's culture, its talents, its richness on Tobago's home soil, and it's going to be evident to all the people what we have been able to achieve as a division, as a department, as a Tobago, as an island, how important it is for us to strive to ensure that we become our best self every day, and how we use community and stakeholder embrace to achieve all these things through training, evaluation, and monitoring.
Very good. And you mentioned training because I know that the careers of many of our creatives here in Trinidad and Tobago would have I guess even been developed and sprouted out of Best Village.
Naturally, yes. It's a grassroots program. And out of that, you see the community. Because what you would have had is people inheriting through lineage and heritage this strong sense of culture and appreciation for that. I think the fact that the division has spent and the tourism and the THA as a whole has spent so much of money and emphasis to the directing through the various training programs in the community and those things that we would have been doing in the schools and how we advocate for the culture and the nucleus is growth is apparent now through the different people who are actually knowledge bearers who would have ensured by way of teaching and by being available through the groups that we have what we have today as a good community start that we are happy to showcase.
Right, nice. And so there has been an increase in participation from Tobago
Yes,
in the
certainly.
competition, yeah, over the
Yes,
years.
and that in itself kind of was one of the reasons why it ended up being in Tobago. And I'm so happy because we now, whereas we show a shortfall in terms of youth practice, we are now seeing the youth embracing and gravitating towards the actual culture as a way of sustenance is actually a way of life, and it's morphing into sustainability, and you see more people getting into other avenues, singing of calypso, playing of the mass, and then of course it affords us a platform to practice other things. So we are saying on Saturday the 17th of August at 11 a.m. be at Shore Park, and you will see what Tobago has to showcase before the national community and more so.
Yeah. So how many groups from Tobago did qualify?
So there are 11 entities, and that's a combination. So we have one group in dramology, and that's the Charleville Police Youth Group. And then there are several other groups who have qualified in the other areas. We have the Tobago Alpha, who's in the National Patriotic. And then we have Zante, Unique Performance. We have Rhythmic Vibration, Youth Creek, and then we have Rhythm Babes, and then we have other individuals from various groups who will be doing national song, calypso, singing, and that kind of stuff, and one steel pan intro.
All right, nice. And switching over to the Assistant Secretary. Good morning, Mr. George. How are you?
Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to everyone looking on. I'm okay, and how are you?
Not being able to hear you clearly there. Able to hear me,
Hello, are
Secretary?
you hearing me now?
Not hearing.
Hello?
All right,
Hello?
not being able to hear him. So going to switch back to you, Mr. Taylor. So could you tell me the division, how has the division been able to help to lend that support to the cultural
The
groups?
division has been the largest supporter of and at that time we do have help from other areas, community development and the division of education, because what we do is very continuous, because culture is a way of life. Culture is who we are as a people, and a lot of money into training, community training, opportunities for groups to be able to practice what they do, to fund what they do, to give assistance in costuming, and like I say, other things is supported by other areas where the group are able to earn, and those things are like the cruise ship season, and then we have things like the blue food within the placement, the airport, the seaport, and so it's just all about how we utilize the resources to empower the people, and by empowering the people, what you do is really strengthening the nation and creating other opportunities for the platforms for marketing and for diversification.
Right, indeed. Assistant Secretary, is able to hear me? All right, so we continue on with you, Mr. Taylor, all right? All right, so but how has the preparation been? Because we are going to be hosting quite a few groups, large groups from Trinidad, and so we had to show up. We have to make sure that they're comfortable. So how has the preparation been?
It was a beauty to see and behold. We have on our platforms various groups, various behind the scenes, what we've been done road to Best Village. And so we have been monitoring what they've been doing from finance to now. Indeed, it's a beautiful thing to see so many of the youth directed to something so positive. It's social, but yet it's so embracing. And it shows that tomorrow's future is being prepared for today, and that's important. So the division is always looking for opportunities and supporting initiatives. And so our thanks goes out to all those the policy leaders and the administration and the secretaries and the assistant secretary who have over the time ensured that there's a platform and that there's opportunity and that there's funding and that there are those things that are necessary to ensure that we sustain what we do. And as you see, 61 years is over 6 decades. That's a long
Yes,
time.
that's a long
And
time.
Tobago has been a great contributor to what has become known as the Prime Minister's Best Village Trophy competition.
Yeah, but switching gears socially a bit, yeah. I mean, over the decades, over our lifetime, our folkloric culture and practices have always had a taboo, attached to it. But what do you think? Do you think that we are able to really hold on to our folkloric practices? Is it being preserved? Is it being passed down generations to generations? Do you think that the taboo is slowly being removed and we are able to express
Yes,
ourselves?
I think certainly, and I think that there's a large appreciation for it. And I heard you spoke about the October Carnival, and I've seen in the few incarnations that people have actually been utilizing the platforms, the folkloric platforms, creating things that are based on our folkloric content and using them as a parallel way to express ourselves, even Carnival. I think that over the years, people have grown accustomed to what was once taboo in our way of life. Because we have more people now going into the universities, studying it with passion and coming out. And the Tobago Performing Arts Company is one of those places that has shown the excellence that we can use and derive from the people who are at residence there doing what they do so well.
Yeah, very good. But I mean, something as large as this and its significance on our island. What are some of the benefits you think is going to be for our island?
Well,
I know financially we're gonna get an injection of finances running
yeah,
through
but
the island.
certainly what it does, it sustains the philosophy that Tobago is one of the next best place to be and to
Yes.
return. And in addition, what it does, it creates a huge database and a repository for our island's cultural legacy. And what it does also, like I said, it supports many of the other initiatives. And as you know, we get ready to go into the cruise ship season. So what we now have is a fresh cadre of people, things, and resources, assets. So the tourism asset is strong. It's strengthened only by things like Best Village that is used to further show that Tobago is a place to be in terms of its culture, its legacy, its richness, its community events, the way we continue to use the village, like I always say, to raise a child, and that those things are important.
Very good. All right. Assistant Secretary, hi.
Hi,
Welcome
good
again.
morning.
Indeed, welcome. So, as we continue the conversation, I want to ask you: are you looking forward to seeing the Best Village competition finals being held again here in Tobago? I mean, yes, we have had it at Sapa and Napa,
Yeah.
but Shore Park, we could offer a great product here with the Best Village. So, are you looking forward to seeing the finals here again?
Well, I wouldn't be able to look at it physically because I'm currently in New York with the Tobago Day team, but I'm very happy that it is indeed happening in Tobago. It's historical because it's the first time that it would be held in Tobago, and it's born out of a problem that we have experienced before and have used this format to deal with it. I mean, we would have had the same problems where there are large groups, it's large numbers, large cost to transport them to Trinidad, to accommodate them in Trinidad. So it's much easier to bring the judges to Tobago instead of carrying the groups to Trinidad. It also presents an opportunity for Tobagonians to support their loved ones, to support their groups. So I'm expecting a large turnout at the cultural complex tomorrow and Sunday. We have an opportunity where the groups will be able to perform in a more it's known that you perform better at home than away. So some of those nerves that would be involved when you're performing in away venues, you won't have that. And you'd have the 12th man, as they would say in sport, cheering you on, so that we are expecting groundbreaking performances. Along with that, it would be an opportunity for even further growth in terms of participation, because you are a lot of groups would have forgotten about even trying to enter because they know they will not be able to meet the financial obligations. So all around, it's just a grand time, a historic moment, and a great opportunity for Tobagonians and Tobago cultural groups at large.
All right. And how was the collaboration between the division and the ministry as we planned for this great event here on the island? How was the collaboration?
Well, the collaboration has been going smoothly. Mr. Taylor and team have had no problems whatsoever. Well, from the reports that have been given to me. Right. And I also want to stress that this idea was one born out of Tobago. I mean, sometimes we look at disappointments and sulk our shoulders, but the disappointments sometimes create opportunities, because with the division not being able to financially carry all the groups to Trinidad, we had to re-strategize, we had to think outside the box, and we had to think of ways to keep the cultural groups involved in the competition. And that is where the idea of, let's have a conversation about bringing the competition to Tobago, where the Tobago finalists will be judged in Tobago. We will be using the same judges that would be judging in Trinidad to maintain a level platform for the judging. And it would reduce the cost dramatically.
Nice. Well, you know what? Congratulations, Mr. Taylor, to you and your team for having that innovative foresight, all right? But I know that the competition, just give me some information, give the viewers some information, the competition this weekend, and tell them why they need to be there this weekend.
You just need to be here, because Tobago, I'm sure, Tobago is all about family, it's all about all of we, and all of we is one family in Tobago. And so everybody has some part to play in this, whether it be from the educational, the support level, social, community, family, some godchild, some nene, some grandchild, some outside child. So we would encourage everyone, each and everyone, to be at a place where you can be able to see for yourself. Be there at Shore Park Complex from 11 a.m. It's a tight show, it's a competition, so it's designed to be clean, quick, and supreme. So we want to encourage you to come tomorrow at the Saturday the 17th, be at Shore Park, get in early. It's absolutely free and under the courtesy of the division. And we are really happy to present this inaugural, historic, out of the world, awesome opportunity for platforming Tobago's cultural excellence. And we really look forward to seeing you. And then don't be late, because we also continue the Tobago Drama Gala on the 18th, 6 p.m. Come and see Theatre at its best. We are able to harness some of Tobago's best culture and to really refine the way we do things. So we are looking forward to Tobago's representation and do what we do always so well. And like I've been calling it, it's Zante Tobago Zante. Show off Tobago, show off all your best.
I like
and
that.
It's coming to you. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to you both, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning. And Tobago, you heard that you need to be there at the Shore Park Cultural Complex this weekend. It is going to be a cultural explosion, and you do not want to miss. You want to come out and support Tobago. All right. So we go for a quick break. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Stay fit this July and August with free aerobics from the Ministry of Sports and Community Development. Let her play. Keep on moving. Java edition. Join us every Tuesday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Hampton Lowlands Multi-Purpose Facility, Tobago. Register online via Ministry social media pages or visit our Tobago location. Hosted by the Ministry of Sports and Community Development and its Pink Rain campaign, empowering women and girls in sports.
I'm
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books, and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and we are into the second edition of the Tobago October Carnival segment. Every Friday morning, you are going to have your girl right here, Lavian, on the morning show. All right, and so moving swiftly into the Carnival discussions, we have Miss Aduni Edgar, and she is the PRO for Naked Glow Night Mass. Yeah, for the Tobago October Carnival. Good morning, how are you?
A pleasant good morning to you and a pleasant good morning to all of Tobago.
Thank you. All right, so I'm looking at the name, Naked Glow, and
Now
it's
we
your
talk
band
about it.
launch.
Let's talk about it.
Tell me about it.
All right, Naked Glow is something that came from the heart of Carl Hector, aka the Dagger. If you know, you know. If you don't know, we want you to know now, right? And when he came up with the terminology naked, we want when you're free and when you're home by yourself and you take off all your clothes. So we want for this Tobago Carnival or Night Mass, we want you to be free. We want you to move away all these stereotypes that society has placed on us. So when you revel, you must revel with freedom. Any body type, any shape, any color. Yes, we're ready. We're ready.
We are liking that, definitely. But it's Naked Glow. So would we be glowing on the road as well?
We will be glowing. We will be glowing. Tobago, don't worry, we'll be glowing. And like I said, we want you to glow in the authenticity of self. You understand? So when it comes to our costume, we hope you will come to our launch and you will see we're trying to replicate the different shades of nudes because we want to represent everybody type and everybody's complexion and stuff like that.
Right. But is it a neon glow event? No, it's not neon glow.
I mean, for the glow effect, you will, on the night of mass, we will have those aspects of glow.
Right.
But as it relates to our costuming, we want it to be skin toned. Yes.
Nice.
Freedom. Naked.
Getting that right. So we're talking about your band launch. Tell me where and when.
All right. Our band launch will be on Saturday at 6 p.m. It's going to be at Papa B's. That's in CPO Trace.
Can't be right on the main road there.
Yes, as soon as you turn in there, right there on your right hand side. If you're coming from numero unos.
I'm getting a lot of vibe from Naked.
Come no man. Come no man.
Night Mass. I think we're gonna be loving this. Definitely.
Right. I hope to see you there as well.
Of course, Entertainment Central will be there. But tell me, what could patrons look forward to the night of the launch?
All right. Well, first of all, you will see our brand ambassadors. You will see the costumes that we'll be presenting. And you also have free meals. We'll have drink specials all night. We'll give you an opportunity to mix and chatter. And also the opportunity if you want to come on board and be part of the Naked Mass.
Right.
As a sponsor, as a family, as a friend, the doors are open.
Right, but could you give us a little sneak peek? Like, what could patrons look forward to on the road? Would you be offering all-inclusive packages? Would it just be costume alone, food and drinks? What could they possibly look forward to?
Okay, well, the band will have a bar that will be on the road, and that's for all to partake of. Our patrons that will be jumping with us, we will have different packages, and some will have additions. You'll have drinks, you have your costume, you'll have, your bags, your cups, and stuff like that.
All right, but is this your first time?
This is our first time doing mass.
Right. Okay, and we're going into the night mass. So anything that we could look forward to in the future, probably Juve, probably Pretty Mass. Like, what is the creativity within your group looking like?
I think we're basically focusing on the night mass aspect of it because, like I said, our team is naked and it's going to be naked throughout. So we have things that you can look forward to, things like naked under the sea, naked at night. So we want to, So we want to keep it night mass, and who knows, there's always room for growth.
Right.
So as Tobago grows, our mass will grow too.
Nice. And the band leaders and the
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Am I putting you on the spot there?
You're kind of putting me on the spot, but I wouldn't say no.
Because
in life, all things are possible.
All right.
I
get that. Definitely. All right. So if you have to tell my viewers one thing or two things and why they need to be at Naked Glow Band launch tomorrow night, go right ahead and tell them.
All right, Tobago, we need you to come out because it's vibes, 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 and more vibes. And as you know, we promise you a spectacular night of our costumes, of all mingling. Did I tell you that the meal is free?
The meals are free. You don't have to invite me twice.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. What you say free meals? You do not have to invite me twice.
Yes, we'll have a free meal for the persons who are coming, and we do have drink specials. You can purchase your drinks from the bar. If you know, Papa B's has a restaurant there, so the food will be prepared by him. So it's authentic Tobago, nice and local and tasty. Come out all year. It's going to be a good time.
All right. Thank you so much, Aduni. All right. So viewers, you heard that here, and you heard it here first on Tobago Updates Television. Naked Glow Night Mass. Yeah. Right. So their band launch is tomorrow night. You do not want to miss it. Get down there. I have a pretty good feeling that they are going to be bringing the vibe on the road. I don't know why, but I am seeing it, and I'm seeing them glowing going down the road. Now remember, Tobago Updates Television is bringing you Entertainment Central tonight at 8 p.m. where your girl Lavion has been out there doing all the things to you, doing the good Lord's work, attending all his events, eating all the food and having all the fun just for you so that we could bring that information here for you. All right. So do not miss. But remember last week I mentioned to you that we would be offering a competition here on Entertainment Central where you could win an entire package, your entire Tobago October Carnival experience free. All right. So we are talking about 3 nights and 4 days at the Magdalena Grand. We're talking about transportation. We are talking about you on the road with Fog Angels for Juve and Pretty Mass. Also, we are talking about Nirvana all-inclusive fete. You are getting free fete tickets, and we have a lot more in store that we are not yet ready to let you know, to let out of the bag. So we need you to stay tuned tonight. Do not miss an episode of Entertainment Central here on Tobago Updates Television. All right. And so we are going to go for a quick break. Remember, Marcus will be here. You wouldn't be seeing me. Marcus will be here to give you all things sports. But thank you for staying with us. And remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All
All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Oh yeah! I said I can't wait for Tobago in October. Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release. Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun, in Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on. From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival. Down here in Tobago. In Tobago. Whether you're chipping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure. I said I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making my plans for the Tobago Carnival fun. Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable. I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Said I'm falling, falling, I'm falling. As I lay in my bed with my head to the ceiling. Say I'm drowning alone and I'm lost in my feelings. Somebody send me a sign, cause you know that I need it. Carnival, come back to me, cause you know you're my healing. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Hi, good morning, of course. Welcome back to Tobago Updates Television. And we are here talking sport this morning. But you know, I found very interesting, naked glow night mask. Watch me, I didn't plan to play Carnival or be a part of the Carnival, they say, no, but when I hear that naked glow night mask thing there, I think I want to jump out, yes? Looking for a free ticket, talk to the band leader there and talk to Lavian about getting involved in that naked glow night mask. Not that I'm going to be naked there, but I mean, I want to be a part of that movement there. But yeah, we're talking sport this morning. And I have on my TKR jersey because very soon we're going to be talking about CPL. But today we're talking about the Trinidad and Tobago under 14 football team. Yes. We are going to be participating in the CFU Boys U14 Challenge Series. And guess what's the interesting and exciting news? That the team, their group will be playing in Tobago, right here in Tobago. And guess what? We have 5 Tobago players on that national team, unprecedented. And it says something about the development of the sport here in Tobago. And on set with me this morning, 4 of those players are from the Ball Blasters. Ball Blasters. It's 5. All 5 are from Ball Blasters. I don't want to actually, downplay your blessings in that sense, but I'm talking to the managing director of the Ball Blasters Football Academy. And folks, we are trying also to get the national coach, that's Denzel Theobald, online. So once he gets online and he will join us, just to get a feel of what's the mood in the camp. And they are playing in beautiful Tobago. And you know, when the national team plays in Tobago, it's all good things. Yes. Right? I remember back in 2001, Downey, when we had the World Cup here. That's right. All the teams spoke so highly of Tobago and the hospitality, and they like the vibes here in Tobago. So I'm happy that the organizers would have chosen Tobago as the destination for the national team to play here. That's right. And I know I invite you to this morning because I'm sure that the Ball Blasters Academy, the management and the whole camp, they are in a good mood. Obviously being the team in spotlight. the club in spotlight, given the fact that you have 5 players. I mean, tell me about your vibe. How are you feeling as managing director, and about the mood in the camp as well?
Well, of course, we are extremely elated. We give God thanks for that, Marcus. But it's a dream come true. This is something that we have always envisioned, and in the early stage of Bow Blasters Youth Academy, we wanted to ensure that we created an environment where we can have players coming from Tobago representing the national team on a consistent basis. And we would like to do so across all age groups, because I believe that Tobago have a lot of talent. I believe Tobago have a lot of great clubs. We just need a good system in place to ensure that the players can showcase their skill and their ability, and it can be seen on a national stage. And of course, this happened to the boys, and they grasped the opportunity, and here they are today representing Tobago.
Yeah, fantastic. So let's talk about the boys. I mean, let's give me their names, and after you give me the names, I want to go back to the parents, because you see, when it comes to under 14 youth football, I mean, it's a discussion in the public space right about now, especially with the performance of our Olympic team.
Right.
And we talk about sport in general and about parental support in that sense. So tell me the names of the players, and then we're going to get to parents' involvement.
Okay.
And the name, in fact, the name and the parents' name.
Well,
yeah, I want to get the parents to know.
Of course, it's extremely
without
important.
that support,
especially in development, you need the support of parents, because of course they are children and they're working for their own money. So there's no way they can do this all by themselves. So we are grateful for that. So we have Mr. Akim Duncan. Akim Duncan is from Bethel. He also goes to Signan Hill Secondary School.
Big up Bethel.
Akim's father is Jamil, aka Akim Smokey Duncan. His mother is Kenisha Scotland.
Fantastic. Right? Big up to the parents there.
Then we have Jaden Marcel.
Right. Marcel. That song familiar there, boy. Is that Marcel, boy?
It's in the veins. But Jaden Marcel, his father is Richard Marcel.
Right.
Jaden is also a student of Signan Hill Secondary School.
Right.
Then we have Mr. Jemiah Gibbs. Jemiah Gibbs.
Which two Marcel? Or Marcel? So you mentioned his father. Mother name. Go ahead.
Yes. Betty. Sorry about that. Betty. I can't remember Betty's surname.
No problem. But people know she has Betty.
Yes, Betty. Wonderful Betty. And then we have Jemiah Gibbs, also a student of Signan Hill Secondary School. Mr. Jeremy Gibbs and his mother, Khadijah Alfred. We also have Kyan Anderson, his mother, Crystal Wilson Anderson, and his father, Rodney Anderson. He's also a student of Signan Hill Secondary School. And then we have, last but not least, Jaden Anthony. His father is Dyke Anthony. His mother is Shiris Anthony. He's a student of Bishop's High School.
Yeah, and you know why I asked you about naming the parents, and you were able to list every one of them? It says a lot about your academy and the closeness that you guys have. And I'm sure it's a family nature that you try to incorporate with our club.
Yes, of course. That's one of our slogans, though. Bow Blasters Youth Academy, more than a football club. We are a family.
Yeah.
You need to create an environment where the players are comfortable, not just in playing football, but outside of football, where you can, create that social feel as though you're home, and when you come to train and you don't want to leave because it's so much fun. The environment is conducive for development. And we stress on that a lot. And here we are for today to see that our boys could, be a part of a national team, which is, I think, is history in the making. I'm not sure if this has ever happened before in any team. I'm not sure if it happened in the girls. I feel so, because the girls have been doing well over the years. But for a boys team or male to have 5 players from Tobago in the national team, I think that's a commendable feat. But again, all thanks and praise be unto God.
Yeah, of course, and I say commendable. It's big news, because obviously there's a perception when it comes to national teams, not just in football, but throughout the sporting infrastructure in Trinidad and Tobago. That Tobago, when it comes to selection, we don't get our fair share in that sense. I mean, so what do you think would have contributed to 5 players from Tobago, 5 players from the Bow Blasters Academy getting selected on a national team?
Well, first of all, you want to give kudos to the coach, Denzel Theobald. Because, when you look at the top international teams, and and you look at the World Cup team, let's say Spain, majority of the players will come from Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, because they're the top clubs. Right? So now you have a coach who selected 9 out of the 20 players are from 2 clubs, City FC, Ball Blasters Youth Academy.
City FC from Port of Spain.
That's right.
That's from Port, right.
But here's what.
Yeah.
Those 2 teams participated in the Champs of the Republic Cup, where Ball Blasters and City FC reached the final. So based on that, you are saying the 2 top teams in Tobago captured the majority of the selection, and I think that is something wonderful. So the coach is doing his job because he was there at the finals, where of course, thankfully, Ball Blasters became the first Tobago team in quite some time to capture a national title. But those 5 boys, Marcus, let me tell you something about those boys. If today's Sunday and I'm home relaxing, I'm sitting in, I say, hey, I feel like going to the beach, and I will post a message in the players chat. They say, boys, hey, let's go to the beach now. Bet your bottom dollar
they are there.
They are there. If 10 players show up, 5.
Yeah.
If 6, 5, these boys always make time to play football, and you know they're always sweating. But I want to make special mention to one of those players, Jaden Marcel, because he's the youngest out of the bunch. He's 13 years this year, but you know he's more humble, quiet.
What position? Which position?
Midfield. And he has been doing really, really well. I am expecting great things from all of them, but Jaden Marcel in particular was really outstanding in the training sessions.
And tell me about the positions of the other players.
Well, you have Kyan as a right back, Jaden Anthony as a centre forward, Akim Duncan as a midfielder, and Jemiah Gibbs as a right forward, left forward.
Yeah, and I don't want to put pressure on you, right? Can we see all 5 players starting?
Well, again, it's up to the coach, Marcus. I mean, you would love to see that in a realistic world, but the team is well balanced, and it have a lot of quality players on the team. Now, if that happens, I think we stand a very good chance of winning.
I like it, and of course, this is an opportunity for the entire public, Tobago and Trinidad. But Tobago especially to go out there and support not only the 5 Tobago players, but the national team in that sense. But we in Tobago have added incentives.
Yeah, but if I to be honest, if I am selecting the team as a coach, I don't think all 5 of my boys will start the team. I like to be honest, you know.
But they're going to get some playing time.
No, they will play. I know for sure, because let me say kudos to the staff of the national team. Coach Denzel, Coach Moore, and Johan C. You know, they made those boys felt at home from inception, and they treat them with so much love now. So, you know, I know whatever decision the coach make is because it's a footballing decision, and not one that he's been biased, because, you know, he have so much love for the boys. I must commend them for that. They really treat them really, really nice. Ever so often you see, you know, they put their hands around the shoulder to make sure, because some days with young players, you know, young players are a bit inconsistent. Today they're good, they're very moody. So as a coach, you know, it's your responsibility to create an environment where the players can express themselves no matter what.
Ambitions of getting into the national coaching system, because I mean, if it is that you are producing at this level, you prefer to stay with the Ball Blasters, or should you be called upon to represent the country in a coaching capacity? You think you'll be able to take that opportunity?
Well, I don't think that anyone will turn down the opportunity to you know, represent the coach. I mean the country, whether it is as a player, as a coach, as a manager. I will grasp the opportunity. But whenever that time comes, at least I'm still learning the trade, and you know, being experienced. The experience that I have seen, you know, with the boys, I know that there are a lot that we need to improve in Tobago, to ensure that this is not something of a one-off, but something that can be consistent. But we have been doing really, really good on this island in terms of our youth development with clubs and the coaching education. So it's only a matter of time where you will see more players, not just from Ball Blasters, Marcus, but from other clubs in Tobago making a national team. So kudos to the clubs in Tobago, all the coaches, big up yourself, and continue the hard work. We try to work together.
but not to be greedy, you felt that you probably could have gotten more selections?
To be honest, I think one more. There was one player. Well, actually, this is,
and not just from Ball Blasters, but on a Tobago, on a whole.
Yeah, well, Tobago. Of course, the chances are all there. There are these clubs in Tobago with, you know, again, no one club will have 1,000 outstanding players, but every club in Tobago should have one player could make a national team. You understand? But there was this. It should have been 6 though. Should have been 6. Situation being our control. where one player had to come back home. No fault of his though. It was just some technical issues.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that child did not get the opportunity. Trust me, he would have started on that team as well.
Okay, and you don't want to mention it.
Nah, I don't think I should. Yeah, I don't think I should.
I understand.
Yeah.
And in terms of the training with the Tobago players, because there's always a situation of traveling back and forth. Were they in camp for a particular period of time in Trinidad, or how did that work out for them?
Well, let me first highlight Coach Imani Forbes. Let me highlight Shiris Anthony. Let me also highlight our manager, Crystal Wilson, because we had to always be in Trinidad, sometime for a week, away from your family, because the boys, they need a chaperone there, because of the safeguarding issue, and at the home of football they stay. So Ball Blasters had a member in Trinidad with them all the time to ensure that they are well taken care of.
That's really
it's a sacrifice that we made for the players, and I know the parents are grateful for that, because it's not easy. Listen, there's a system, Marcus, that we need to change. I don't ever blame no coach, because there wasn't any proper system in place for when players coming from Tobago, to represent a national team. I guess sometimes maybe that is why we may struggle a little bit, because of course, we have to go back and forth, and it can be quite costly. So again, we have a new administration now at the TTFA, and they have a lot of wonderful ideas. So I hope that when they are pushing out all these wonderful ideas, that they remember Tobago and ensure that there's a good system in place to ensure the players in Tobago get the opportunity.
Fantastic. And this should be easy on a national coach, in that, because as a national coach and in charge of especially development of football in Trinidad and Tobago, because I'm not suspecting, but I can see this national team, this under 14 team, probably 10 years down the road, these are the players that will be representing the national team, the senior team. So it starts with the Denzel Theobald and the under 14 or the youth program in that sense.
Yes.
It must be easy on Denzel and his management when you have a system as Boa Blasters and City FC, academy structure in Tobago, that, you put in the work in terms of Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, and you have a number of players coming there to learn football, the fundamentals. And Denzel can just get up one morning and say, hey, let me go buy Boa Blasters, or let me go buy Jarek Titans, let me go buy somebody and see what they are doing. And you can pick players from there instead of probably creating some kind of tournament where sometimes a player may not be at his best. But when you have a consistent program as Ball Blasters and City FC and all the academies, and as you mentioned, kudos to all the academies, not just in Tobago, but throughout Tobago. It must be easy on Denzel and his team to identify players and pick players.
Yes. When you have a wonderful program, it makes it easier for the coach. When the players come into the system and they understand the game, with the knowledge of the game and the technical abilities, that's coach's dream, right?
Yeah,
so
of course.
It makes the training session easier, So instead of focus on trying to tell you, well, you have to take the ball like this, no, you do system, you do system of play, because the boys already at that level. So it's easier for the coach,
That's
makes the job easier.
So let's talk a bit about the tournament and why should Tobago come out and support from tomorrow. As I said, not just the Tobago players, but the national team. Have you followed the format of the competition? What do you expect of the national team?
I really think that we can win this tournament. At that age group, U14, I don't think there will be much difference in terms of what the other Caribbean teams could come with, because at U14 we're still in the development stage. So we have a good shout. I've seen the team train. I've seen the work that the coach put in with the boys, and I'm expecting great things. I believe that we can win this tournament. So Tobago, we also need to create the environment, because of course you always talk about the 12th man, which is the fans, not the referees, the fans. Because in some instances the fans become 13th because of course the referee is the 12th man.
I like that one.
But in this instance, Tobago, your energy, which we always have this vibrant island that people love to come, and we could make noise. So come out and support not just the boys from Tobago, but the national team. Wear your red. If you don't have red, wear your black. If you don't have black, wear your white. If you don't have either, go by D2 and buy a jersey.
I like that one.
Yes.
And have you seen training sessions of the team, right?
Yes.
What can we expect? Can we expect an attacking team, a team that will sit and counter? What we can expect?
Yeah, we're gonna expect some fast playing football, because the coach, he stresses on the speed of play.
Yeah.
And You know, there are some outstanding players that, you know, I have known over the years, and there's Richardson, and then we have Reagan and these boys from City FC.
Right.
So the players that the coach select, and, you know, on this team, I'm expecting some fireworks. I think over the years, based on how, you know, we have seen youth football and senior football, I think Jamaica might be our biggest challenge. I've never seen them, but we know how the Jamaicans, when it comes to Trinidad and Tobago across the board and Jamaica, there's just this automatic rivalry.
There's an yes,
that's
yes,
right. But I am expecting great things from all those boys who put in their hard work to make this team, because it's a dream come true, man.
Yes.
Many of us dreamt of making a national team. So I never made a national team as a player.
Right.
But for me to give these players the opportunity to make the national team, that is destiny fulfilled.
Yeah, fantastic. And you know what is the best thing about this tournament happening in Tobago here? It's free. It's free. You know, a man ain't want to pay $10 or $20. You can just walk in.
Yeah.
So come with the vibes. And as Downey mentioned, if you don't have a register, go by Dito. I mean, something red, wave a flag or something, but we want to be the 12th man, because we don't want to refer the player part. As you mentioned, there's sometimes we just play 12 man. But this time we wanted the fans to be 12 man. To be the 12 man. To get out there and support youth football. I mean, it's a what do I say? A new dawn in Trinidad and Tobago's football. We have a new president.
That's right.
And we are trying our very best to start from now. This is the age group in every sport. Under 14. Well, whatever, if it started on a 9, the age group that will, especially when it comes to teenagers, as you mentioned, sometimes they're very moody.
Very.
You see, this age group is a very, very critical age group, and they don't want the talent that we have in Trinidad and Tobago to go to waste.
That's right.
So I'm happy that, you know, they have been given the opportunity to test their talents against regional counterparts in that sense.
Right.
And you know where you are.
Then
I'm sure you will be watching at your players to see how technical they are. If it's that all that you, exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. So, Tobago, get out there and support our youngsters. Get out there and support them. It's free. And the matches are starting, 4:30?
4:30 and 6:30. And it so happened that based on the fixtures, all our matches are at 6:30. But you still want to come out, though. You still want to come out, you know, and I mean, give the younger players of your clubs the opportunity to see, you know, a regional tournament. You know, we are accustomed to these local tournaments. Come and see some quality. I'm expecting good football from other countries as well, because not only Trinidad and Tobago, you know, we are investing in development across the Caribbean, you know. But Marcus, before we go, I always like to mention the Ball Blasters Youth Academy, hard-working staff in the back.
Yes, man, I like that.
Not just our coaches, but of course our executive teams. Because we have a host of coach, you know, coaches in the club, you know, Joel Sampson, Coach Kwesi Sandy, our goalkeeper coach, Rondell, Lishon, Nickel, Imani Forbes. You see Imani Forbes, Jeremy Richardson, Jermaine Morgan, and stuff like that. So
it's a team, an entire team.
It is important to have the support of others for development.
Yes.
The one-man show that gone on.
I like
outdated.
So even though we are seeing you here this morning, you are here representing the entire academy with a support system.
That's right.
And I'm sure they are viewing this
well, I would like to believe
interview.
So to all the staff and coaches of Ball Blasters Youth Academy that bought into this vision of this crazy boy here, because a visionary is a man who is crazy, because sometimes the things that you are seeing, others don't. They buy into it and they go with faith and they hope. So I want to say special thanks to them for the support over the years. Trust me, sometimes leading up to tournaments, Marcus, we train every day.
Yes.
And these staff members, they are there willingly. Sometimes they come straight from work and they come down there to ensure that the boys are. Because when I go to training, Marcus, I don't look for water, I don't look for ice. These parents, these
you are just
staff,
focused on coaching.
That's right. And they will come down there and everything is in place.
Very, very important.
You know, and even sometimes we go to games. When I go to game, Marcus, I don't even know who does organize uniform in terms of. All I know, U14 team, they come dressed, water by the side of the field, bibs there. We go to tournaments, you know, the teams clashing. My staff always work with Ball Blasters.
But that's how the system should work.
Yes.
That's how the system should work, because you don't want to be burdened as a coach with all of the feelings used in that sense. And I would really want to big up the parents and of course your team for giving you that support, and of course for you guys creating the atmosphere to make it, you know, work their weekends off to come down there and put in all the work, and not just weekends, but when you have tournaments and training throughout the week, in that sense. But I mean, because I was reading as well, this under 14 team is prep for our national under 17 team, for the World Cup qualifiers, and there's a high performance center in Trinidad. Do you see the need for one in Tobago with all the academies that we have as well?
There is a high performance in Tobago as well, you know? Yeah, there's a high performance in Tobago. I think their training days are on Mondays and Wednesdays at the Dwight York Stadium training ground.
Right.
So, but again,
we're gonna talk.
Yeah,
We're gonna talk
more about that.
We're gonna talk more about that. But just viewers, just giving you an idea of what's gonna take place from tomorrow, right? We have a number of teams from around the region in Trinidad and Tobago.
That's right.
But Trinidad and Tobago, the national team, they are playing here in Tobago. So from tomorrow, just Saturday, we have St. Kitts and Nevis up against Jamaica. That's
Right,
the
first game.
at 4:30 p.m.
Right.
And then we're gonna have Trinidad and Tobago taking on Aruba at 6:30. And then on Sunday, it's Aruba versus Jamaica. And then our second game will be against St. Kitts and Nevis. That's Trinidad and Tobago. And then on Monday, St. Kitts and Nevis versus Aruba. And then Trinidad and Tobago will take on Jamaica. That's a big one on Monday at 6:30. And then we're going to have some playoffs on Tuesday. And I'm also told that the grand final will be taking place right here in Tobago, at the Right York
Look
Stadium.
at in the bottom of the screen there.
So fingers crossed. And of course, all prayers go up there that the Trinidad and Tobago team, they get to the final, and we're going to have a grand time here in Tobago. So something to look forward to, Tobagonians and Trinidadians, because obviously Tobago Updates Television, we are obviously nationally. So get out there in Tobago. It's free. Your favorite word, Tobagonians. Your favorite word, free and food. Right? Obviously we have concessionaires there, so you can get food, but I'm not sure if the food is free. But you're gonna get in free. Go out there and support every single player, not just the 5 Tobago players, but our national team. We need it, and we need the support. And of course, if we win this, we get more players from Tobago getting forward to that national under 17 team.
I believe so.
Guys, we're gonna leave it there. Donnie, I want to thank you so much for being here this morning. I want to commend you on your team, and of course, all the academies. Not because they don't have anyone on the national team, but continue doing what you're doing, and we can continue tuning on players from Tobago for our national team. This weekend we have Great Ways also on tomorrow, and of course check out the ALN Academy, Cricket Academy at Caravan. It comes on in tomorrow at the Shaw Park Recreational Ground, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. And of course I want to apologize for not having Mr. Theobald here this morning. Busy man. I know that there was a training session sometime today. I know that Shaw Park also is a training ground. I'm not sure if it's open to the public to go down and see how the guys are doing down there. But yeah, lots happening this weekend where sport is concerned. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this morning to the Big Updates Sporting segment. I'm going to show you guys over to Natalie for Good Morning Tobago. But of course, don't forget to share the live, share the live, share the live.
The title Creative Calabash is TPAC's Children and Youth Programming Arm, where we use arts and performance to create opportunities for outreach, for competency and capacity building, as well as space just to teach children about all things, not just performing arts, but things cultural, things heritage, things legacy. So this year is our second iteration of Creative Calabash, and it is a 2-week vacation camp. And the theme for this year is Arts Plode, which is Arts and Explosion, because we're specifically exploring arts of the imagination and play, traditional play and contemporary play, as entries into teaching the discipline.
It's been going very good, and we are having a showcase at the end of camp, and we are now rehearsing, and it has been very good.
What would you say has been your favorite part so far?
Everything.
Dance, film?
We don't do film, and I'm very sad about that because I wanted to try out a camera, but it has happened.
We have just about 60 children, and ranging from ages 4 to 17. And in the camp, the children are divided across 4 age ranges. So they're basically grouped in accordance with the age range: 4 to 7, 8 to 10, 11 to 13, and 14 plus. And I mean, I say this without fear of contradiction. One of the advantages of Creative Calabash is that children get to experience the widest variety of performing arts under one roof.
Our age group has dance, and we have creative free play where we have to be creative and we have to express our emotions. The visit to the dirt oven made me know more about how our history is and how they make these delicious foods to each other.
Second year going to the camp, and I feel like I learned more than last year, which is fun. I love to learn about performing arts. I started to learn about the traditional dances here in Tobago. I've never danced Coco before, and I started to learn it a couple weeks now, which is good because as a Trinidadian, I came here to live a couple years back and I didn't learn anything. And now that I'm starting to learn it properly, I'm very happy about that.
What about if you all have on just the... We are so deeply invested in creating opportunities where children get to know not just about the space or the island's cultural prowess, but also about themselves. And so the ethos of the camp is also about social development, because we want to deal with things like social values, sharing, fair play. How do I become a good citizen? How do I contribute meaningfully? How, as a Tobagonian child, how do I show up in space? How can I share my voice to help others? So that has been our focus. It has been a beautiful 2 weeks. The TPAC team works so very hard. The aunties and the uncles, 100% credit to them. They are the people who really carry the camp on their backs.
Excellent. The children love to play. I love to play. We all love to play. And they are very eager to learn about Tobago, and they're very eager to learn about all the cultural things that could happen here.
Camp has been going amazing. It has been the best experience. Last year I didn't get to come, and I'm so glad I got to come this year because it has been an amazing experience. We play a bunch of games and they teach us our heritage through these games. So it make it fun for the little children, and it also make it fun for me. The greatest part have been film and dance. I never knew I was into film until I tried it, and we now came from making a documentary, but we mocking it kind of in a funny way. We made it funny, and it was really nice to go through that experience. I never knew I could actually learn my lines and actually deliver it in front of a camera and not have stage fright and not be scared, and it was actually really fun. This camp has opened up my experiences and made me do things that I never knew I could have done.
I am really enjoying myself. This whole experience has been new to me. I am now learning more about Tobago's culture, and I'm a dancer, so I love to know more about my heritage and where I came from, so that when I get older I can teach my kids about our heritage.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
And it's always a pleasure to be with you on a Friday mornings. Of course, we have to start off GMT this morning with our news in 90 seconds. On news for this morning, the 16th of August 2024. Health Minister Terence Dialsing announced that Trinidad and Tobago's public health system is prepared to handle the monkeypox virus locally if cases arise. This follows the World Health Organization declaring monkeypox a public health emergency of international concern due to a surge in cases in Africa. Dialsing noted that Trinidad and Tobago treated 4 monkeypox cases in 2022. Although no screening is done at ports of entry, the ministry will continue to monitor the situation. The World Health Organization emphasized the need for global action to prevent another widespread outbreak like in 2022. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley expressed concern about the negative impact of poor diets on public health in Trinidad and Tobago, particularly due to prevalence of non-communicable diseases. He urged citizens to adopt healthier eating habits, emphasizing that many have grown up consuming unhealthy, processed foods rather than fresh produce. Rowley warned that the rising healthcare costs due to poor diets could be mitigated by lifestyle changes rather than hiring more doctors and nurses. He praised the Youth Agricultural Shade House project, which promotes efficient farming and supports the government's goal of reducing food imports by 25% in the year 2025. The National Advisory Committee on Constitutional Reform has recommended significant changes for top office holders in Trinidad and Tobago, including a 2-term limit for prime ministers, while suggesting reverting to the previous process for appointing the police commissioner and deputy commissioners, where the Police Service Commission recommends candidates to the prime minister who has a veto. The committee also advises expanding the Police Service Commission scope to include other protective services. It criticizes the current system, where Parliament's involvement creates political interference and reputational harm for candidates. The report emphasizes the need for clear rules, consultation without compromising independence, and encourages a return to a system that avoids political interference while maintaining national security. And that was your news in 90 seconds. So this morning we have a special guest with us. You know, the topic on the island is, of course, crime, and we have been inviting different experts and stakeholders to share their concerns, their findings, and of course to offer solutions. And no stranger to us here, we are going to have this conversation with Dr. Wendell Wallace, who is a criminologist and a senior lecturer at the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus. He's also a qualified attorney at law and a mediator with the Mediation Board of Trinidad and Tobago. And he has done a lot of research and continues to research, of course. You know, I'm looking at the areas of violence, looking at gangs, domestic and school violence, and the list goes on. So it is my pleasure to introduce him to you, our viewers, this morning as we talk about crime on the island, and not just the island here, but of course Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Dr. Wallace. All right, so we're just sorting out that technical issue. And of course, I know you viewers, you have a lot to say and have been saying a lot on what's happening on our beautiful island, Tobago. We have had guests who would have shared with us concerns. And of course, your concerns have been voiced as well. And we have always been hearing the thought of how important it is for us to say something, speak out when we see things going amiss. Because sometimes we may do things that encourage crime in our communities and we don't realize that we are doing so. So as we get ready to talk to Dr. Wallace, I want you to feel free maybe to share your concerns. If you are viewing us and you can use the chat, maybe you may have a question, and if I'm able to ask on your behalf, you know, feel free to share it as we start our conversation with Dr. Wallace. And let's see if he is ready, if we got that technical issue sorted. All right, so we'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll definitely have Dr. Wallace to chat with us this morning.
guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
Stay fit this July and August with free aerobics from the Ministry of Sports and Community Developments. Let her play. Keep on moving. Java Edition. Join us every Tuesday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Hampton Lowlands Multi-Purpose Facility, Tobago. Register online via Ministry's social media pages or visit our Tobago location. Hosted by the Ministry of Sports and Community Development and its Pink Rain campaign, empowering women and girls in sports.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books, and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Go in. You have to stop it. You have to stop it. Welcome to my kitchen, guys. You have to stop it every night. That's it. That's the intro. Let's do it one more time, right?
Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for staying with us. And again, if you are now joining us, I'm your host, Natalie C.D. Richardson. And this morning, we are going to have a conversation with Dr. Wendell Wallace, criminologist, attorney at law, mediator, and senior lecturer at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus. And our conversation will surround the topic, the escalating crime crisis. And for us here in Tobago, it's definitely a crisis. So, Dr. Wallace, good morning. I hope we can hear you at this time. Right? And of course, you know, Dr. Wallace is not just an attorney who can practice in Trinidad and Tobago. He's also qualified to practice law in England. He's also an author. Some of you may be familiar with his work and his research. So definitely, I think he's one qualified to speak to us on that topic, and he may be able to shed some light based on the research he has done over the years in that area of crime. You know, I know that one of his areas he has specialized in, of course, is looking at gang violence, domestic violence as well. And of course, we are going to be able to hear him soon. For those of you who may not be familiar with him and his work, I think that you should check out his work and, of course, you know, look at his studies, look at his research. And, of course, there is one book that I am sort of familiar with, and it speaks to it's better to be alone than join a gang. I can't remember the exact topic, but it's something like that. And I've always been curious because we also know that, you know, it juxtaposes against the idea of no man is an island. But it's an interesting read. And if you can get a copy of that book, you know, parents, teachers, I think you can pick up some things from that book. So as we continue to get ready to hear Dr. Wallace soon, you know, again, we are all impacted on the island here when we see the gun violence being used, and it seems quite prevalent. Tobago is a place, if you had one murder in a year, that was considered too much, and now we are well over 15, and one wonders what is really happening to us here on the island. Many people may attribute it to the easy access to illegal weapons. Others may say it's a breakdown in our school system and our home, in our families, in our communities. But what I would always, you know, offer as we consider the issues surrounding crime and we talk about what may cause it, we all have a part to play. And we need to ensure that we take back our communities. I think there is more of us that are good than more of us that are bad. And there's unity, there's strength in unity, there's strength in numbers. And it's very important for us to understand the power that we have. And we need to make that united stand against what is happening. Our young men, you know, falling into this lifestyle so easily, and seeing that as an option to thrive, seeing it as an option to live when they are approached and it's enticing for whatever reason. So I'm calling on all of us, parents, mothers, fathers, grandmothers, teachers. We are all living on this beautiful island, and it is time we take a stand. And a stand doesn't mean we have to protest, or it just means whatever little you can do within your home. Take back your power, you know, talk to your young ones in the home, the children coming up. Many times we are so busy, we leave them to watch TV, play games, and we are missing out on meaningful conversations with our children. And, you know, sharing stories with them, experiences, letting them know what you would like for them as they grow and what expectations are there for them as a member of your family. So think about things like that. And if you are doing, having conversations like that, kudos to you. Continue to do it. Encourage your friends, other families to have these types of dialogues with our children. And of course, I invite you, if you have something to share on that topic of crime, how you feel about it, feel free to share it in our chat. If I can, I'll be able to share it with the rest of our viewers as we continue to just get Dr. Wallace's technical issues sorted out, but we will be hearing from him soon as we have that. So I want to thank you for your patience. Of course, we heard what's going on around. It is Friday. I always encourage us. We have a Friday mentality. As I say, we welcome the weekend, and we usually, are a bit relaxed on a Friday, even though we may be at work. But I encourage us to be aware of our environments. It's very important. We are living in changing times, and times have indeed changed. To be aware of your environment. Start locking your vehicle door. Don't leave your handbag, ladies, on the front seat of your car, where it may be tempting to someone who had no intention of stealing, but accessibility. And when we have the police force chatting with us, those are some of the tips they share with us as well. Make it a bit difficult for that person who may be tempted. Don't make things so easily accessible. Around your homes, put more lights up so that persons around can see if someone is entering your yard uninvited, and those types of tips. All right, so again, viewers, I invite you, if you would like to have a comment shared with the rest of our viewers, once it's respectful, of course, I will be able to share it. Feel free to drop something in the chat if you are so inclined. And at this time, I think we are going to another break, and we'll be right back after this message.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release.
Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun, and Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on.
From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival.
Down here in Tobago. In Tobago.
Whether you're tripping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure.
I said I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making my plans for the Tobago Carnival fun.
Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Viewers, thank you again for your patience and for staying with us. We finally have Dr. Wallace. We are able to hear him now, and we will get right into our conversation. Before we do that, a quick shout out to Ajay Allen, one of our viewers. Ajay, we see you are online, and thank you for being with us this morning. Dr. Wallace, good morning, sir.
Pleasant good morning to you. Despite all the challenges, it's really a pleasure to be here to try to share some information on this insidious act that we're having in Tobago.
Yes, definitely. And of course, a man who, with your academic qualifications and your experience, this conversation, I was telling our viewers while we were sorting out that issue that you are well qualified and equipped to have this conversation with us this morning. And right away, I just want you to briefly tell our viewers, what is a criminologist and what do you do?
Well, as a criminologist, it's a big task, but basically it involves teaching and research. So we try to impart knowledge to the younger generation, to our students, on what is crime, what are the causes of crime, what are some of the potential solutions. So it's a whole range of things we do, from the theoretical to the practical, right? That's the basic layman perception as to what is a criminologist and what we do. But a greater part of my task involves conducting research on all aspects of crime and criminal activities.
Mm-hmm. And I know your research would have covered this span, of course, not just gang violence, but domestic violence as well. But I want us to tap in quickly because of the time we have on Tobago's situation. I would have mentioned earlier that if Tobago had one murder or major crime, that was one too much. Now we are well over 15, and it seems to be becoming quite commonplace here on the island, which is something we are not used to. And though there may be many factors, based on your research, what do you think accounts, or what have you discovered is accounting for this change on the island?
Well, that's a really interesting question. It's a good question. It's a tough question. Indeed, I've conducted research on Tobago, looking at the murders, especially that are occurring in Tobago. And in fact, approximately 2 to 3 years ago, right on this program, I indicated that if we do not take stock of what's happening, then that murder rate, which was at the time around the 9 or 10, that it would certainly create a record in terms of Tobago. But basically, the research has shown that there are several factors, what I call a conflation of factors that contribute to what's happening in Tobago at this point in time. And the first thing I'd like to touch on is our really porous borders. Our borders in Trinidad and Tobago are really weak. At one point in time, we had the Police Marine Branch, which supported the Coast Guard. So there were 2 layers of protections for borders. Now, it's very easy to breach that.
Right.
You have fishermen leaving from Tobago and going to other Caribbean islands and returning with firearms. Then you look at that, the port itself. You have numerous illicit goods that are being moved through the port. And one of my colleagues, Gavin, here just last night, he was mentioning that we need to strengthen the security on the port to deter these type of activities. Then you can look at the movement of gangs. And the movement of gangs it's a regional problem.
Right.
You have gangs that are affiliated to the different gangs in Trinidad and Tobago, the different numbers. They are in Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Jamaica, Curacao, you name it. Then if we look at other structural issues, you have people leaving school, secondary school without skills. So they're not academically qualified and they have no skills whatsoever. You can look at, for example, poor parenting practices. You can look at the desire now for instant gratification rather than delayed gratification. Yes. You can look at the employment level in Tobago, which is something Dr. Anna James has always spoken about. So there's a whole range of factors. In essence, I cannot point to any one factor. As I said, it's a whole range of factors.
Mention some interesting factors. And again, every time we have these conversations, it doesn't matter who we speak with. These are the factors that would pop out and stand out. And my thing is especially where the factors seem to be factors that can be controlled or changed over time. And when I say over time, I'm not talking about like very long term, but short to medium term. For example, we've always heard about the challenges of our porous borders. And Tobago, of course, a small island surrounded by water. Many of our villages are known as fishing villages. There's easy access to pirogues, vessels to make a trip back and forth. Why can't the authorities clamp down on this? This is something we have been hearing time and time again.
And yes, you are so correct. It is something that I've been asking from 2010. I've been asking, why don't we have a functional police marine branch? So in my estimation, it has a lot to do with political will.
Right.
Right? For example, one of the questions that I've always asked, we have Little Tobago. Little Tobago is we have a lot of tourists visiting the island. When last have we had police officers actually visiting Little Tobago, conducting patrols? We have Monas Islands, Carrera Island. Right. We have all these islands, these landforms off the coast of both Trinidad and Tobago. And I've always said that what we have is land-based policing. If something were to happen on one of these islands, let's suppose someone goes to Little Tobago and they're victimized there. how would the police in Tobago get to Little Tobago?
Right.
So that solidifies my point that what we have is land-based policing. And what we really need is to put the best minds together to come up with a long-term strategic policing plan, one that transcends the Commissioner of Police. And by that I mean we include the Commissioner of Police, but whenever the Commissioner of Police changes, that plan remains intact. And that's what we need. Crime is not a short-term issue. Crime did not get here over time, as you rightly alluded to.
Right.
So therefore, stopgap measures and putting plasters on sores will not alleviate, they will not address the problems that especially Tobago face today.
And, there are so many different theories. Some of them might be, as we say, old talk, etc. But, and this is not just unique to Trinidad and Tobago, but many times you hear the opinion that no government really wants to stop crime because there is that generation of income. You are also alluding to those who may be in the upper part of society who are also connected to the crime going on. So you hear a lot of talk about no government really wants to interfere with that industry. And, and whether that is so, because that could just be speculation. You're talking again about the police force, and I always say sometimes I get the impression that, TTPS, and yes, they are hardworking, the system seems quite reactive, because you hear people talk about what may be going on in their villages or communities. And of course, the police can't just go and arrest someone on hearsay. But are stings being developed? Are people being watched? Is there a long-term plan? Okay, we've heard so much hearsay about person X. That's definitely a person of interest, And if they are doing so, we the citizens don't really see much outcome. You may hear about one or two persons being arrested because they would have, been looking at this person's movement or some investigation. But really, capping down and getting more intel on persons of interest. And I think that is an area that maybe our TTPS can, really improve on so that we can see more. You also mentioned the movement of criminals. And I want us to talk about that a bit because in time past, you would hear in Tobago when the violent crimes, the murders were happening one, you would hear a lot of people here say, the criminals are not from Tobago. The criminals are coming from Trinidad. Do you think because we have had that thought and that approach, we may not have been as proactive as we should have, and it may have brought us to this point when we realize, hey, the criminals are right here?
All right. So again, two really interesting questions there. The first has to do with the utility of crime. Crime has a utilitarian component in it. And quite rightfully, as you alluded to, there are some persons who may not really see anything, or they may tend to look the other way because crime is utilitarian, right? You have, and I'm not pointing any fingers here, mind you, but if you look at the landscape, there are certainly people who benefit from criminal activities, right? And what is needed in the context of what you mentioned is a more proactive policing. Now, policing will always have that element of reactivity in it, right? In that an accident will happen, someone may commit an offense. You'll always have that element of reactivity in policing. But what we need to do is enhance the proactive component of policing. So we need to have more police officers on the ground, but not only having them on the ground for having them on the ground sake, or having them on the ground simply conducting patrols. We need to go beyond that. And certainly one of the things that you mentioned, intelligence gathering. Policing has to move from what I call net fishing, from constantly having roadblocks here, there, and everywhere.
Right.
You have people who, they're passing through the roadblocks. You have apps that they will tell you where you have police roadblocks.
Right.
So while operations and while roadblocks one tool within the toolbox of policing. We need to be more we need to be more proactive. So we need to be more data driven.
Right.
We need to have more intelligence gathering and usage of intelligence among the agencies. One of the things that we have in Trinidad and Tobago, one of the things that we are good at in the Caribbean is having a multiplicity of agencies.
Yes.
Doing the same thing. They're all gathering data, but
Yes.
how much of that data that is gathered is being shared, and how much of that data is being used in a sort of proactive measure to go after these criminals. So yes, I agree with you there. We really need to enhance our intelligence gathering capacity.
Mm-hmm. And it leads us again to the question of now the ordinary person, the person like me, who, you know, is living in a village, living in a community, living in a neighborhood, and you are seeing changes happening around you, and sometimes you feel as though you are not empowered and you don't want to say anything. Now, this is very hypothetical. I don't want anybody coming for me, you know. You don't want to say anything because in a small society, one of the challenges we have here in Tobago, you have heard people speak about their experiences, is that even though you may make a report, that person you're reporting is related to somebody in the station, and before the report is done, you know, you are labeled in the community as a snitch or whatever, and sometimes, you know, there's a spin-off from that, and now your life is impacted, and some people just rather not say anything. How do we deal with an issue like that?
But from my perspective, that's a twofold sort of it's a twofold situation. Indeed, you have some people who are willing to speak to police officers, and I speak from a position of knowledge, right? That there are people who are quite willing to speak to police officers, but they do not wish to do so openly. They do not wish to go to the police station. In some instances, they are labeled as snitches, or in some instances, you know, the information that they give to the police gets back to the criminal element, and their life is now in danger. That's a reality.
Right.
But the other side of the story is that people often use that as an excuse not to report things.
Right.
And it's only when it hits home to them that they are asking other people to report. There are many ways that people can report crime and criminal activities to the police. Right? There are many ways you can do that. There are you can call some of the anonymous lines. In fact, you can go as basic as even writing letters. Right? Mm-hmm. There are different ways that we can use to get information to the police. And again, I'm speaking from a position of knowledge, having myself done various things within national security and knowing that there are many ways that one can report. Mm-hmm. But as I'm saying, it's a twofold sort of situation. We have to be cognizant of the reality, but we also have to understand that there are many different ways that we can report crime to the police in Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, a good intelligence officer, there are a whole range of things that we can do. Now, I don't know if the average individual like yourself, as you rightfully alluded to, I'm not certain if the average individual knows about some of the different ways that people can report.
And education is so important because we know knowledge is power. And many times assumptions are made. So even, you know, the TTPS, they understand the system and they may just think, hey, people should know this, but reality is many may not know it. And maybe a little more information shared along those lines can go a long way. Now, I know a lot of your research focused on gang violence as well. And I want us to look at the school factor, the home factor as well, because there's this deep connection between school and home, although many times people may try to separate it, but it's definitely intertwined. And when we look at gang violence, what exactly are we speaking about, and how has that influenced the escalation of crime here in Tobago?
So when you look at gang violence, basically, there are several, you can find several definitions for gang violence. You know, this is not an academic forum, but You know, in order for people to understand what you're dealing with, gang violence basically looks at criminal activities that are performed in a structured way when you have 2 or 3 persons acting together over a period of time, right? And that encapsulates what's known as gang activities, and out of that you find gang violence, and gang violence is broad. It can range from extortion, robbery, kidnapping. So it's a wide range of activities that encompass gang violence. Now, what's happening is that in the past, when crimes were committed in Tobago, we pointed fingers at the larger island. We pointed fingers at Trinidad and said, the criminals are coming from Trinidad, they're migrating to Tobago and committing offenses. Now, that's partially true, right? You have what's known as crime migration and gang migration. That's partially true.
Right.
But again, I've always mentioned that we do have homegrown criminals in Tobago, and we need to start looking within. Societies in Tobago are relatively smaller than in Trinidad, and therefore people will have information within the community as to what's occurring. Now, information is different from evidence.
Right.
So quite often people will tell you, well, we know who did that.
Right.
But that's just information. Unless you go to the police and give them that information, which is backed up by evidence, then the police are more or less hamstrung. Because we still in Trinidad and Tobago depend heavily on what we call IC witnesses, or persons who would have seen the commission of a crime.
Right.
Right? So we need to move beyond that. Further, in a time gone past, in every community in Tobago, the common man, the average individual, investigated every stranger who came into the village.
Yes.
Again, I know it for a fact. I was part of one of those communities, one of those rural communities. And whenever somebody strange entered that village, we all, everybody, we got together and we wanted to find out who is that person, where that person come from. So the first layer of protection actually comes from the community, right? Now, we also
let me
need
just
to look at
interrupt
the
you, Dr.
criminal
Wallace.
justice.
As you mentioned, that community, life has changed so much for us here that we live in isolation, because I think that is such a unique way to protect our communities, to know who is coming, who is going. And we're not talking about getting, as we say in colloquial terms, being fast, but in this case, the fastness provided a protection, you know, for the community. But now you have more people leaving the home to go to work, spending more hours out more than, you know, in, and you may see a strange car, you may see a strange person, but that's not my business, so I'm not going to get involved. You know, we have really changed how we live. There are some communities right here, people don't know who's living next door to them, and that was not so.
And again, you're quite correct. And what that leads to is that lack of knowledge actually facilitates criminal activities. And that leads me to something that I've always spoken about, community empowerment. If you empower every community to deal with issues that are local to them, so that in Crown Point, you have the Crown Point Community Council, the Castara Community Council, Charlottesville Community Council, and these councils are not only looking at criminal activities, but they are looking at how can we develop our communities. So you look at it from a financial position.
Right.
You empower communities from a financial position. You empower them from a social position, from a religious position. So community empowerment, in my view, is at the root of weeding out some of the activities we see in Tobago, the criminal activities. But I want to stress that the community empowerment model doesn't only lie in looking at crime.
Right.
It looks at empowerment in a broader sense. And when you empower communities in that broad sense, then you find issues like crime, which falls under the community. You know, people take a more intimate and a more personal responsibility for it. So we need to start empowering our communities, not only in Tobago, but in Trinidad and Tobago.
Right. And it's very important, again, that we understand that we we do have some power, but we need to be proactive. Not just the TTPS needs to be proactive. And on the island, of course, I know some people are listening and they're saying, but we do have village councils, and yes, we do this and we do that. But it's about widening the scope, understanding your power as a village council, as villagers, as community members, and really putting being intentional. When I had a conversation with Pastor Dutton quite recently about crime as well, you know, he raised the point about being intentional. So many times we have awesome conversations. We know all the factors that contribute to crime, but what are we going to do about it? And unfortunately, our time is just about out. But I would have to ask our producer, because I want us to talk more and really, you know, in your findings, what are some of the solutions? What can we implement? Because it's so easy to talk about the ills of it and how it has happened. But we need solutions. That's where we need to go, because we are spinning around here, and we really need to buckle down and focus on solutions and how do we implement these things and be intentional. So I want to thank you so much for your time, sharing with us quite an interesting conversation. And we want to wish you all the best as you continue to do your research, lectures, and as you know, inspire young lawyers and mediators and criminologists to really get involved and make a difference in our beautiful Twill Island Republic. So viewers,
thank you so much. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Yes, and thank you viewers for staying with us. We go for a quick break, and when we return, we have two gentlemen who will sit with me and will share something with you. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wait.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look out below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look out below, 'cause this is your show.
Attention members, now is your chance to double or even triple your dividend payment with no increase in your existing loan payment. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your dividends effectively. Whether you're planning a vacation or simply looking to maximize your savings, we've got you covered. Call us today at 639-8226 or 631-1336. Message us on Facebook for more information. Hurry, this offer won't last long. Bethel Credit Union, because we see you at BCU.
Said I'm falling, I'm falling. As I lay in my bed with my head to the ceiling. Say I'm drowning alone and I'm lost in my feelings. Somebody send me a sign, 'cause you know that I need it. Carnival, come back to me, 'cause you know you're my healing. I said this soca is my therapy, my therapy. It take away all of my anxiety, my remedy. I tell you that we all need love. Jump up and show me love, wind up and show me love.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
Welcome back, viewers, and of course I promised I would be in the company of two gentlemen, and they are Dwight Boris and Dr. Ellis Boris. Yes, we have the Boris family flanking me this morning, and we are going to have a conversation about the Bahai faith, what is coming up significant for that faith, that community, and I want to welcome you, Dwight, and of course Dr. Ellis Boris. Welcome to Good Morning Tobago. You are on GMT this morning.
Oh, thank you very much for your invitation, and I'm very happy here to share with you as much as possible with respect to the Bahai faith and the interfaith service that is to take place on Sunday, 18.
And before we go into the interfaith service, I want for our viewers, because some people are still not familiar with the Bahai faith, and I want you just to share what is the Bahai faith, what are some of your fundamental principles of that faith, and a little bit about the community in Tobago.
Okay. The Bahai faith is generally a very simple religion, if you should take it from that perspective.
Right.
And also because from people along at the grassroots right up to those who are elite, supposed to understand God when he sends a message to mankind.
Right.
And therefore, the simplicity that exists within it is practically related to the three fundamental principles that govern the Bahai faith. That God is one. There is only one God, and all the religions of the world know this, that there is only one God that we all pray to. And the other principle is religion is one. That religion is one because it comes from one and the same God.
Right.
So therefore, the oneness of God and the oneness of religion are fundamental principles that govern the Bahai faith. And that mankind is one. We know that we all have innate qualities and virtues which we're supposed to elevate as much as possible. So it's against that background that mankind is one, religion is one, and God is one. Those are the four fundamental principles that govern the Bahai faith.
Right.
So against that background, I would just ask Dwight to come in to add whatsoever he may wish to add.
You go right ahead, Dwight.
Again, just thank you for having us.
Sure.
So just to piggyback on what Dr. Boris said, other animating features of the Bahai faith will include things like the independent investigation of truth. So the understanding is that, we all grew up in families,
yes,
right? We basically pattern the religion of our forebears, all right? And whilst that is good, it is equally important that when we come out of age of maturity, but in the Bahai faith it's set at 15, but at some point in time, it's upon that individual, to go beyond, read widely and investigate for themselves, interrogate religion, spirituality for themselves, and make a decision based upon that, right? And not just, banking upon the religion that their forebears taught.
Right, and just be led.
And just be led, right? another animating principle of the Baha'i faith. We believe in things like and focus on things like the universal education of children, right? The equality of men and women. We see backbiting as a grievous sin.
Right.
Right. We have fasting as an integral part, one of the pillars of the faith.
Okay.
We have two. Prayer is one, daily prayer, and we have obligatory prayers, but as the name implies,
right,
prayers that must be said on a daily basis.
Right.
All right. Well, fasting period, 19 days each year between in the month of March.
Okay, I was just about to ask what time period.
Yeah,
okay.
March 2nd to March.
Yeah.
Okay, 19
March
days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 19.
Not to be too long-winded, right?
Yeah.
What is it? The purpose of the Bahai faith, the message of the Bahai faith is one of unity.
Right.
Right? And when you take what I just said, along with what Uncle introduced with, right? We understand these to be like a blueprint to achieving this unity.
Right.
So not just mouthpiece in unity, but actual, okay, if we practice these things, I mean, as individuals personally, it extends to our families, right? And in our communities by and large. We think we can have a better idea what that looks like. And that has been the mission of the prophet founder of the Bahai faith, Baha'u'llah, and what he has taught and what we follow.
Right, now gentlemen.
I just want to add a little bit.
Sure, go ahead.
Saying that, that's very, very, very succinct as stated by Abt, right? And the fact remains, because we have those three principles and added to what Dwight has put on as the other primary principles that relate to the development of the cause, we have the processes to achieve world peace.
Right.
We're not doing this lightly or slightly, and Baha'i faith is an international religion, and the fundamental purpose of all these principles that underlie the faith is to bring about world peace.
Right.
Right? And mankind is working towards that. Exactly. Turmoil in Tobago, turmoil in the world, everywhere.
Yes,
because this is how God knew it would have happened.
Yes.
And that is the reason why He sent the Baha'i faith, that world peace could be achieved.
Right. And we continue to talk about the Baha'i faith because I know we have the interfaith service, and I want our viewers to have this opportunity to learn more about this faith and understand the significance and the importance of having the interfaith service. Now, Dr. Boris, you are also the president of the Interreligious Organization of Trinidad and Tobago, yes?
I agree.
This is the first time we have someone from Tobago sitting as president.
Sure, that's
right?
correct.
And that's an accomplishment. So congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, continue repping this beautiful small island. We're talking about the Baha'i faith. You mentioned that it's an international faith. How did it get to Tobago? Because I know in your community as well, and a special anniversary is coming up. So it had to start somewhere with someone. Tell us a little about that.
Well, as a matter of fact, there are phases of development and teaching programs that have set out from in the days of the Prophet, and also the guardian of the faith was Shughi Effendi, and now the Universal House of Justice, which is the supreme body of the Baha'i faith.
Right.
So there are phases of expansion of the cause that had been set out. And during that phase of the expansion, I think Trinidad and Tobago was under Venezuela, where we had that relationship to enable people from Venezuela or Baha'is from Venezuela to come to Trinidad and Tobago to teach.
Okay.
And therefore, this gentleman, Dr. Peter McLaren, came from Venezuela to Tobago with the assistance of another Baha'i he's from Tobago, but he joined the Baha'i faith in Trinidad. His name was Mr. Anton Moore, who is actually related to my wife, because my wife is down probably from the Moore family, Charlottesville.
Okay.
So in that instant, they went to Charlottesville to see whether they could find Baha'is there. The search was not successful. Then they went to Mason Hall to find Baha'is, or find persons who would be interested in the faith. They were unsuccessful. Then Dr. McLaren asked Mr. Moore, can you find a place, get a village that is hard to find, so we can able to get some or find some person who would be interested in the faith? And it's there they went to Palatuvere, and probably if the Palatuvere is probably translated, I think it's a place that is hard to find. Right? So because on the seafront, you can pass Paladovia easily
Right.
without seeing
You
it,
can
except
miss
you
it.
look back into the village itself.
Right.
So it's against that background that, well, they went to Paladovia, and the conversation started over drinking of coconut water. But how my sister got on the beach is because I got an injury from a nail on a raft.
Okay.
And I went to the doctor that they said they would not see her, but see children. So I had to go back for my mother. But my mother was preparing lunch and she couldn't leave. So she
Right.
asked my sister to come with me.
Yes.
So my sister came with me and we went on. After I was treated by the doctor, we were on the beach having a little drink of coconut water.
Right.
So a conversation started up. And Dr. McLaren asked her, how many race of people are there? And then she started white and black
Right.
and Indian,
Yes.
and as the case may be. And then Dr. McLaren said, no, there's only one race,
One
the human
race.
race.
Yes.
So that was the kicking point
Right.
from where the entire thing started blossoming into what it is today.
Excellent. Quite
Yeah,
interesting. I'm
yeah.
in school, viewers. I'm in school this morning. Quite interesting. What anniversary is the Bahai Faith in Tobago celebrating this year?
55 years of existence on the island. At least I was there when my sister Sheila Boris signed the card as a Bahai, declaring herself as a Bahai. And 1 year after, which is I became a member also. So I'm a member 54 years now.
54 years.
54
yes.
yeof membership. Well, at least the 55 years I could take it because I was there.
You were there when the coconut water was
served.
Yes, and the conversation started.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what is the membership like on the island?
We have more than 200 active Baha'is, but it is more. But those who are inactive, we just have them on the list.
Right.
But the active ones, we could find approximately 200, more than 200
Excellent.
that are active.
And in celebration of this 55 years, tell us what's happening this weekend.
Okay, I would allow Dwight to come in at this point to state what is
So
happening.
tell us, Dwight, how are we celebrating this weekend?
All right, so we have two activities to round off the celebrations this weekend, right? So tomorrow evening at Calder Hall Community Center, we have a banquet. Starts at 5:30, right? As a small program, but it's an invitation to all the Bahai brethren and Sitchin, and even our friends, just to come and have a meal with us, right? On Sunday, that's the big one. That's the interfaith service, all right?
So before you get to the
sure.
interfaith service, so this banquet is tomorrow at 5:30. Is
Yes.
it a ticketed event? Is
Yes.
it that you have to have, something to get in? Or can I say, I remember talking to the Borises, let me just stop by Calder Hall tomorrow,
Yes, it's a ticket.
That's a nice question.
It's a ticketed event.
Yes.
Tickets are $150.
Right.
I think all of Tobago has Dr. Boris's number. They could contact him for tickets.
705-9846.
Okay, say it again for me, Dr. Boris.
705-9846.
Right, very well.
Right? And
150 for a banquet?
150 for a
Well,
banquet.
that is quite a price. I mean, there's no excuse not to go, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and of course to enjoy good company.
We cater for the poor and for the rich.
Right. Good. Excellent. So now, after that gala event,
Right.
and of course I expecting with a name with banquet, it's a formal affair. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And we go to Sunday. So tell us what's happening Sunday.
Right. So Sunday we are at Shore Park Cultural Complex. Right. We're asking persons to be seated. So that's our open affair. All of Tobago is invited.
Right.
Right. We're asking persons to be seated from 9:45. We want a 10 a.m. prompt start. And we go until 12. We definitely want to hold to the 12 cutoff time.
Yes.
As there's best village activities in the afternoon. So,
Okay. Okay.
So we really want to keep
Right,
that time.
keep the timing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
who is invited to this? Because it's an interfaith service. So we're not talking about just Baha'is. So tell us about
the
that.
whole of Tobago is invited. The point is we have a whole cross section of the religions that exist on the island.
Right.
We have Buddhists here, we have Muslims, we have Hindus, we have Christians, which is the largest one, and then we have although Baptist falls on a Christian, where they have mushroom out of our ancestral religion.
Yes.
So therefore, we have special respect for them because I respect my ancestors,
Yes.
right? And therefore, I have special respect for the Baptists.
Yes.
I'm not saying that they should were that thing, but I have respect for them because
Yes.
they are, right?
Yes.
So, and that's the mix of people who we will have presenting prayers, and we're not praying just because of prayer's sake.
Right.
We're praying in reality, in spirit and in truth,
Right.
to ensure that there's a change in the country, there's a change in the world, as the case may be. But it is important that it is not a show to say, well, listen, we just joining people to pray.
Right.
We want the reality to be in spirit and in truth, that people are praying. Because Baha'u'llah tells us 1 hour of reflection and prayer is preferred than 75 years or 70 years of pious worship.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So therefore,
Yes.
we want to do this 2 hours that we have in spirit and in truth.
Right.
So we could cover 75 years of 70 years of pious worship.
And the theme for Sunday's interfaith service, a moment of prayer and reflection. So in addition to, of course, taking this prayer seriously and not just lip service, as we say, what do you hope to accomplish?
Well, this will spark, you know what the power of the Holy Spirit has. It can spark changes that we can't see with our naked eye.
True.
So we expect that it will have a direct impact on the lives of those who interface with it, and that they will able to start a process where love, which is the secret of this age, will override the evil or hatred that exists among people. Because as a matter of fact, we're praying and we're working towards to world peace. If we working towards world peace in spirit and in truth, and harass humanity must come to its senses and realize that we are going down a path that is not good. Let us pull ourselves back and go forward.
Right.
In a more spiritual and moral direction.
Right. So we have all the faiths, if I can say, all the faiths being represented on Sunday, and of course the Bahai. And I want you to correct me because I said I'm in school, I'm learning. Do I say the Bahai community? Do I say Bahai faith?
It works just as you say. You could say the whole Bahai community or the Bahai faith, because it's partly the same.
Right. So the Bahai community is celebrating 55 years, and that's quite an accomplishment. To have a group of people sharing that same faith and developing and growing together, and also sharing their knowledge with others. And I think it's always significant for us to celebrate each other, because I always say Tobago is small. So if rain falls on my neighbor's house, it's falling on mine too. To celebrate. Now we know, again, let me just recap. So tomorrow evening at 5:30 is the gala banquet at Calder Hall. That is a ticketed event. So if you are interested, of course, there are a few tickets left. Call Dr. Boris. As Dwight said, everybody should have Dr. Boris's number.
You can take my number as well.
Right, and Dwight, please
just
share your
some
number.
Good open, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
464-6037.
All right, and repeat it again for us.
Yes. 464-6037.
Right, and of course, Sunday morning, that event is open to all of Tobago. You don't have to worry about having to pay for any tickets. Just come, be prepared to worship, be prepared to pray earnestly, earnestly, and allow the Holy Spirit to transform. And I want to wish you and your community, of course, congratulations on your 55 years. And I really want to thank you for sharing with us, because it is one of the religions that it's not, the 1 or 2 on the census, and I think people are always curious. Every time I go to, when the Indian Arrival Day is celebrated, I know Dr. Boris will bring remarks. I always hear and I see him when you go other religious, functions. And I've always been curious, how did the Bahai faith start in Tobago? And I found out this morning. So thank you so much.
I just want to thank you, because I want to add the fact that, I go to those religions, because it's not because I'm going just to on a surface value to say I'm trying to please the members of that. I'm going there because I know those religions come from God.
Right.
And there's a spiritual connection between them and the Bahai faith. So therefore, I'm doing again that in spirit and in truth, because I do respect the Hindus. They are the oldest religious organization on the planet. 5,000 years they exist. And then you have many people feel that the world exists or started with Christianity. It didn't.
Right.
Christ came in, well, only 2,000 years ago, but the Hindus were here 5,000 years ago.
Right.
So therefore, we have to show respect that God was good then and he's still good now. And that's part of the reason why I take part in spirit and in truth, bring greetings. I go to the Muslims when Imam Kamil Ali has his session on Eid. I'm there. I bring greetings there also. And anybody the Baptists have Baptist Liberation Day, I'm also. So I and then I have much more respect again for my ancestral arrangement because I was in Ghana earlier this year and I see what happened. And really took me a while before I could calm down and to understand what has happened and to console myself because
to deal with it emotionally and otherwise.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Understand.
But I'm saying as a Bahai, we have to look at, walk away from the past and continue in a light because if you don't forgive and forget, you will be stuck in the past.
Trapped.
And therefore the trappings, Baha'is try to avoid those traps and we go forward because we have to unite. We have to bring world peace on this planet.
And we have to start at home. And we have to start at home.
Exactly. And that is the main process why the Baha'i faith is here on earth to change the dynamics from war to peace, world peace.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, viewers. And this is a pleasant note to end on this Friday morning. All right, let us remember it's within all of us and whatever religion you belong to, wherever your faith lies, it's important to feed that part of our lives and to allow it to grow and not just, as Dr. Boris said, you're just doing it because, but let it have some sort of transforming impact on our lives so that we can do what we are called to do in this life. So thank you, viewers. It is Friday. Be safe, whatever your weekend plans are. Remember, you can be at Shore Park for 9:45 a.m. on Sunday morning and be a part of this very important interfaith service. Thank you for staying with us, and we will continue next week, Monday. So have a fabulous weekend, and thank you for joining us on GMT.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we're stronger.
Last year, October 2023, the island tilted. The peaceful bliss of sea, sun, and sand was transcended as we took to the streets to revel in paradise.
Yeah! We love Tobago Carnival!
Tobago! It's such a nice place!
Tobago Carnival, we're right here. We're not leaving till we go right down.
It's the greatest, it's the best, it's safe, and it's beautiful. I love Tobago, baby. Coming back next year. Hey!
Playing pan on the streets is a magical experience. When the band strike up, is rhythm, steel, and powder. This is Tobago Carnival. Pan in paradise.
Tobago is the best.
Tobago Carnival is the new home for the legend of Calypso. Where else can you get sweet Calypso music that gives you that nostalgic feeling?
Soca Titans is we title, is we monarch. We built artists from scratch who can perform with the best. Real Titans of Soca.
When last you've been to a party, plenty women looking so nice. We must be in paradise.
This year, ritual takes on new space and dimension. Traditions will be reimagined, breaking free, and taking on new meaning on the road.
I love the energy.
This year, the revelry is bigger and better. More colors, more meaning, great packages for the masqueraders. Tobago Carnival is freedom.
This year promoting safety in all events for Tobago Carnival. This year promoting whining, not minding people business. This year promoting clean fun, security and freedom.
Freedom to be any version of yourself that you choose to be with love and safety. Here, you have permission to be you, uninhibited and free.
So what you waiting on? This year, this October 2024, experience the ritual, revel in paradise, release yourself. From the greatest little island on the planet, this is the Tobago Carnival 2024.
Every time, every time, every time, every single time.
Your